All right, YouTube people. Today we're taking a second look at the FOBOS Tier 1 Mini. If you saw my first review, you saw that I was somewhat negative on it, really just for one reason. This is one of the coolest knives out there. It is such an attractive shape. It's aggressive and completely unique. Eric at FOBOS did a fantastic job designing just a very, very like cool and sleek, but also very useful knife. So, in my previous video, you would have heard me talk about how I didn't like the handle, how it just seemed too thin. Maybe too shallow. It didn't fit in my hand like I like a knife to fit. Well, if you read the comments, you would have seen that Eric actually responded to the review and pointed out that the knife is actually designed to be gripped like this, not a hammer grip, but to be gripped like you're putting or you're golfing, and that it's actually a stronger grip for a cutting motion. It's also a great fine a great grip for fine motions, fine tasks. Well, the funny thing is, in my original video, you'll notice that I actually end up holding the knife like this quite a bit. I complain about it not fitting this way, but my hand just naturally wanted to go this direction. So I noticed that, and I reached out to Eric and said, "Hey, I think that I need to take a second look at that knife." I'd actually returned that previous knife, and so he agreed to send me out another one for review. And he mentioned that the knives now are not being made by Bark River; they're being made by another company, and that the fit and finish is somewhat better. You'll notice that this one has liners. In fact, all of the new Tier 1 Minis have liners, and even though liners don't always make a knife handle thicker, this one is. And he was actually kind of excited for me to notice that this one does just fit my grip better. Now I have a glove size large hand. Feels like a pretty average hand to me, and this one just fits. It just seems to fit much more snug. So the hammer grip is useful, and now I like the hammer grip because there are a lot of fine tasks that you will use the hammer grip for. Right? You don't always put your hand like this, or I mean, you want a knife that's versatile, and this one is. So I actually feel like I owe this review to Eric because I think that I missed the mark in that previous review in understanding what this knife was built for. It's a versatile knife. This isn't the smoothest edge, but it just fits in your hand perfectly, so it doesn't cut, it doesn't dig in. The width now I think is more than adequate. I actually love this knife now. It's it's a heavy duty knife. It's not a thin light duty knife. You can beat on this thing and it will take it. I spent quite a bit of time in the woods with this, and found that this is CPM 154. Man, it really held up really well. I honed it a little touch up afterwards, and was very impressed with the edge retention. So I'm actually really loving this knife now. Let's see, what else do I want to point out? He's got a new sheath. I do miss the old sheath, but mostly because it looks cool, right? I never wear a sheath. The other one had the straps that go across this way, so you can use it scout carry or horizontal carry, or excuse me, vertical carry. This is made just for vertical carry. Perhaps you could get a belt under this way and also wear it horizontal carry. It's pretty tight leather, so I don't know if it's real easy to do. It does have a magnet in it, so the knife holds. The retention is really strong. And one thing I wanted to ask him, I should have asked him, is if the sheath stitching color matches, if it always matches the liner color. That'll be an interesting thing to find out because it's a cool touch. I think it's a really neat touch. I think that's about everything I want to say for this knife. The more I use it, the more I love it. I hardly ever use the finger choil. Mostly just because I rarely feel like it's a need. However, this is a great fire steel. What's my word here? It's got nice sharp 90-degree edges there, so it's gonna bite into a fire steel really easily, really well. So that's kind of a nice touch on this knife. So I feel like I owed Eric this review. This is a really great knife. Part of it is because the handle thickness is a little bit thicker, but mostly because I missed its duty. I missed what its design intention was for, and he subconsciously designed a knife that fits exactly the way that he thinks a knife should be carried for its intended purpose. Now, this is an EDC knife, but it's a hard use EDC knife. He has a military background, so I think a lot of his design incorporates a self-defense aspect to it. However, this knife was rated as the #1 knife. Boy, I'll have to put this in the comments what the actual company was, but there was a survival magazine that rated it their top knife last year. I'll have to find a link for that. So the knife actually has lots of uses. So I actually would recommend this knife. Yeah, I might even just take down the original video because I think I was just so wrong in that first one. Anyways, hope you guys enjoy this video, and that it's useful, and that I am hitting all the details I need to get on here. But let me show you all the angles. I love the textured micarta. I don't love smooth polished micarta like a lot of my favorite Bark River knives, or all of the Bark River knives are all smooth. This texture just has a great grip. Yeah, cool knife. Anyways, enjoy.